गणेशाय नमः। ॐ श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। 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 ॐ वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ध्यायामि चिन्मयानन्दं गुरुदेवं महामतिं प्रेमपूर्णं क्रियाशीलं सदा लोकहिते रतं कृपालुं सुन्दराकारं समर्थं सत्यदर्शिनं वाचा तत्त्वप्रकाशिन्या शोकमोहविनाशिनम्। ॐ श्री सद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम, सुप्रभातम। We will chant the 11th shloka, 11th, 12th, 13th and 14th. भज गोविन्दं भज गोविन्दं गोविन्दं भज मूढमते सम्प्राप्ते सन्निहिते काले नहि नहि रक्षति डुक्कृङ्करणी। मा कुरु धन जन यौवन गर्वं हरति निमेषात् कालः सर्वं। मायामयमिदम् अखिलं बुद्ध्वा ब्रह्मपदं त्वं प्रविश विदित्वा। दिनयामिन्यौ सायं प्रातः शिशिरवसन्तौ पुनरायातः कालः क्रीडति गच्छत्यायुः तदपि न मुञ्चत्याशावायुः। कान्ते कान्ता धनगतचिन्ता वातुलकिं तव नास्ति नियन्ता। त्रिजगति सज्जन संगतिरेका भवति भवार्णव तरणे नौका। जटिलो मुण्डी लुञ्चितकेशः काषायाम्बर बहुकृतवेषः पश्यन्नपि च न पश्यति मूढः ह्युदरनिमित्तं बहुकृतवेषः भज गोविन्दं भज गोविन्दं गोविन्दं भज मूढमते सम्प्राप्ते सन्निहिते काले नहि नहि रक्षति डुक्कृञ्करणी. All our education is only for the mind. The body is also tamed by the mind. Intelligence is provided with knowledge, it doesn't decide on anything. Therefore, all our education right from the childhood is for the mind and mind alone. Why is the education required for the mind? Let us analyze on how the mind has developed certain ways of thinking or functioning. When I was a child, very small boy, when I say I, it means all of us. Definitely, our parents must have taken us to the shops to purchase some products. Very many times the mother says, take him and go. Why? She wants to be peacefully working at home because he makes lot of galata. So the father also, or the grandfather or somebody, takes the child and goes to the shop. Now the most important point here is, the child has a clean mind. The slate is clean. Therefore, anything that happens in front of the child gets royally, totally, completely, perfectly registered in the mind. One of the reasons why Param Puja Gurudev would say, catch them young. In respect of teaching the Shastra, catch them young, he would say, that is for what? Because the mind is clean, the mind is quiet, therefore it can register easily. That's why children learn very fast. Is it not? Child always learns through observation. The capacity to observe is extremely good because there is no dissipation of energy. There is no dissipation of mental energy. Therefore, the mind doesn't know where it has to think. It has not yet developed that desire for various objects and fancies of the world. It only looks at everything, probably quietly registers something good looking, colorful, etc. Now the father or the grandfather or the mother, whoever it is, when they take the child to the shops, they ask for certain objects, material. Child is observing. The shopkeeper collects that material, packs it in an appropriate way and offers it to the father or the mother, and in turn the mother pays cash. Today things have changed, it's all digital today. But how it started? Mother pays cash and the object is given to her. The child observes. And the child also looks at certainly, shopkeepers have got a very nice way. Keep all the chocolates in beautifully arranged bottles right in front. It will not be kept inside. Right in front, bottle, chocolates and etc., which are very attractive for the children. And then the child feels that attractive. It doesn't know what it is, please. Initially it doesn't know. It feels and it shows the hand. The grandfather or the grandmother or the mother or father, whoever it is, they immediately feel very happy that the child showed the hand. And they say, you want that? The child asks. If in case the father had asked, you don't want that, the child would have said no, because it doesn't know how to shake the head also. Think. So the father asks, do you want that? The child also nods the head. And the father again pays a little money and picks up. Now please note, paying the money is observed, picking the product is observed, and giving it to the child. We will never understand that these things gets into the child quietly. Very, very subtle registration. The child, the boy grows a little further and the father says, take this money, go and buy milk and come. The boy goes, gives the money and takes the milk and come. Now, this point has become very clear. What? If I pay money, I can ask for whatever I want. There begins the importance of money, and the child gets clearly registered in its mind that money can buy things what is required. There is a subtle registration and a very strong registration. Why it is strong? Because over a period of time, the child has been observing, the boy has been observing, the boy has now started purchasing. Now a little grown-up boy goes to the school, high school probably, and in the schools, those days we had, these days I don't know, in the school's outer compound there will be all these pani puri wala and then that those days that cotton kind of a thing would come, eatable, like a sponge they would make. All those things will be available. Everything is very interesting to eat. Everything I want, but I must have money. When I don't have money, I will not get. Now look at these 2 points. I have money, I will get things. I don't have money, I will not get things. Thus, the importance of money becomes important for the boy. Without money, when I cannot get anything, I will now work to get money for getting my desired objects. My focus, no doubt, is in the object, but for getting it, I require a medium called money, and therefore, when I know without money I cannot get, ena kena prakarena, as Gurudev would beautifully put it, cut or loot or murder or plunder, I want money. For what? To enjoy the whims and fancies of the world. Think. When thus the mind has developed the strong idea that money is important, then I will definitely work in the initial stage to get the money righteously. But when I don't get the money righteously, which is not so easy, then I am ready to compromise to get that money in any form. For what? For gaining those objects. Think. The addiction thus which has created in me for enjoying the objects of the world, sense pleasures of the world, has become so strong that I will just do anything to gain those desired objects. Now, where is the focus of the personality? Personality Allah, person. The person's focus to up to a certain age, generally, exception sustained, generally is on artha, money, and kama, pleasure. And you will find for a lengthy period of time, one has lived with this very thought which has grown roots in his inner consciousness, that money pleasures, artha kama. This is what comes in front to everyone. Therefore, a whole lot of a long part of life goes in running behind artha and kama. Earlier, he had to think of artha and kama, and now what has become? That has become the way of life. That has become the way of thinking. And mind does not require a provocation, a motivation, an instigation to think on artha and kama. It has become the way. Think. It is this factor which has grown very strong roots in the personality, which actually makes or creates every thought. When this has thus become very strong, the very pattern of life has become in running behind, chasing artha and kama. When that has become the very norm of life, to think of dharma and moksha is not everybody's cup of tea. Why? No time. Early morning, today's way of life, early morning, even before people open their eyes, they first search where the mobile is and then open the eyes with the mobile. Those days it was there. Karagre vasate Lakshmi, Karamule Saraswati, Karamadhe Saraswati, Karamule tu Govinda, Prabhate Karadarshanam. One thinks of Bhagavan, open the hands and sees Bhagavan in the hands as though, and wakes up with the thought of Bhagavan. Those days, past tense. Think. Today, I am sure there are even people who are in the spiritual field open their eyes with mobile. Think. Therefore, look at the way it has stormed into the life of everyone. What is that? Artha and kama. Now, since they have become very strong and they have become the way of life, to eradicate those thoughts of life, to evade all those general, normal, habituated thinking is a very, very big sadhana. Sadhana in the sense what? Unless I put in extreme effort. Effort meaning what? Conscious, deliberate, strong effort to come out of it. It is very difficult. Let me make this point very clear. It is definitely very difficult, but it is not impossible. It is possible. Very much possible. But I have to make that Dridha Sankalpa. Dridha Sankalpa meaning what? From today, they need not be with me. I can live without it. But remember, more often than not, even if we have made so many sankalpas, very many times the pressure of those habits which I have developed many times pushes me to compromise. When the compromise takes place, two things happen. Remember, remember this very carefully. Even though I compromise at the first stage, I do regret, I do feel bad, I do feel ashamed, but am I ready to bounce back? Am I ready to accept the limitation, give up those habits again and again whenever it pushes me? Be very firm to make sure that I make a Drida Sankalpa again. Next time when that pressure comes, what should I do? I make a plan for myself. Take Nama Japa. Chant Vishnu Sahasranama. Chant Lalita Sahasranama. Like that, I bring in an other way of avoiding. Now please see. This is a very important point again. Our desires, honestly, are bit momentary. This momentary desires, at that particular peak time, if we can move forward, if we can shift our attention, we can come out of it. Very many people have given such ideas, like for example, somebody gets very angry. At the drop of the hat, I get angry. Then what do? When that anger comes, count 100. It might look very silly, but it definitely works. I count 100. By the time I finish 100, that pressure of anger weakens. That is enough for the first time to cross over. And slowly, steadily, the man, again with firm determination, can walk out of those habitual anger. Similarly is all kinds of desires. Passion, lust, everything can be grown out of. Please note, not get out of. If you get out of it, then you will get into it again. There are plenty of examples. If I can grow out of it, through what? Through proper systematic analysis. In fact, even after systematic analysis, we may fall prey. But again, punaha. This word is used in the Shastra everywhere. Panaha. Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha grihyate. Krishna asserts. Think. Now, when thus we have the possibility, when we have the technicality to get out of it, what is it which is stronger in me, which can make me work? Now see, if the desires for the sense pleasures are stronger, then obviously I will compromise. If the desire for me to get out of it is stronger, even though I may fall prey at times, I can definitely get out of it, because survival of the fittest. Think. Therefore, right from childhood, all the good things are taught to the children. The samskaras are given to the children. Why? To strengthen these qualities. Qualities of righteousness. Qualities of good thinking. Qualities of right contact. Qualities of ability to search. All these are constantly given to the child. Through what? Through some games, through some stories. Today, the children are given mobile in the hand. Children are given video gaming, gadgets in the hand. What values are we teaching the children? Who is responsible? Think. Oh, the child can think. No. The child has been, the mother wanted to do some work, therefore she says, okay, play with this. Give the mobile and go. Today, the situation is a small school going boy is able to handle the mobile much efficiently than the very person who owns the mobile. Any problem in the mobile, the father says, hey, come and set this. The son comes, tuck, 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 over. Meaning what? He has now picked up the ability to handle the mobile, but he has not picked up the ability to handle his own mind. Think. At the initial stage, the parents guide them. Later, the world spoil them. Think. All depends upon what the boy picks up and what is it that which he is strengthening. That is why Shravanam, Kirtanam Vishnoho, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam, all these are forms of bhakti which are taught to the child. The child is taken to the temple. The child is made to do namaskaram to the elders. The child is asked to fold the hands in front of elders. And then the child is taught. Initially that baby would chant in a wrong way. Vaklatunda maga kaya sulya koti samaplaba. Like that the child may chant. Mother may feel very happy. She might even do some broadcasting of her child's inability to chant correctly. All that can happen. But the child observes. The values that the child strengthens decides the quality and texture of thoughts that the boy or the girl entertains at the later stage of life. When the boy or girl is ability to think on his or her own, by that time the intelligence is also working, the discrimination also works, but that discrimination again is based on the values that I have picked up. Doesn't mean I have not picked up any good value. Doesn't mean that I have not been given any good value. No. We have been given good values. But it is what I have picked up and strengthened. As and when I grow, again I pick up so much of information and I go on strengthening. When I strengthen something, I definitely by default unknowingly weaken certain things. We have always heard this oft-quoted statement. The teacher draws a horizontal line on the board. Then she draws a perpendicular vertical line. And she calls the student and says, can you reduce this line without touching it? Every student feels, that is the day they start feeling bad about the teacher. Why? The teacher, like this, she wants to give me and show that she knows everything. Like this, such thoughts come. But there is always a solution. How do I make this line smaller? I don't have to touch the line. I draw a bigger line, which will correspondingly will make it what? Smaller. I have not touched the line, but I have drawn a bigger line. This is what the Shastras talk of. What I have developed right from the basic level can be changed out of logical thinking, rational application of that very logic and the knowledge gained. And thereby, I don't worry about what is there. I develop a strength which is stronger with knowledge and make it more stronger, that the other weaker things will automatically become insignificant, irrelevant. And the Shastra's purpose is to bring this righteousness, which is stronger, bigger, and it doesn't have to do anything to the weaknesses of the humanity or the person. It becomes strengthened, and with that strength, now please note, when the larger line has become stronger, the mind which was thinking of the lower aspects of life automatically changes. When I say automatically changes, what? These sort of thoughts becomes primary, the other becomes secondary. And that is why early morning to get up with Bhagavan's Nama Sankirtanam. Those days, these are a very, very important factor. Apply one chandan or a vibhuti or whatever according to the practices of the family. Offer namaskaram to the parents. Very, very important. Today we consider it as not required. Today we consider it as not needed. And therefore celebrations. Why? At least then you do. Think. That namaskaram to parents is very important because the mind develops a sense of surrender. As the mind takes up that quality of a sense of obedience. Think. Therefore, once we develop these qualities, they are there. They are very strong because it was done in the childhood. It has already formed the foundation. After the foundation, the whims and fancies attracts though, and they form a beautiful building. So their fanciful things are there, but we should never forget the foundation. If the foundation is strong, then all those fanciful things that we have developed over a period of time collapses when my focus is on the values that I have developed. And that finally makes the last lap of the race in this journey of life. Think. If the foundation is not strong, then what happens? The mind which has picked up all the fanciful things develops such thoughts, and such a person will become a cancer in the society. And we find in every field, any field, today we have corruption, we have so many wrong people in that field. Why? Because they have not developed the right values. Political field, economical field, social field, financial field, more and more so in the spiritual field. All this happens because of what? Udara nimittam bahukrita vesha. And when Acharya says udara nimittam, for the sake of survival. It is no more for the sake of survival. We have aplenty. But only to satisfy the greed. When 1 or 2 toys are not sufficient, another 5 toys are brought. The child wants more. When the child wants more, the parents bring more, the neighbors bring more, the relations bring more. And no toy can satisfy the child for all time. Therefore, more and more and more toys has increased the greed in the child. More and more dresses. Think, there was one wonderful personality who had 3,000 saris. One whole room dedicated. 792 pairs of slippers. Another room dedicated. Think. Because of what? Because of supply aplenty. Therefore, this attitude of greed that has developed from the childhood continues, and it has also been nourished. And when plenty, when varieties, when options, lot of choices are given, I want to have lot of materials of each and every choice. Every kind of material, I don't want 1 or 2, I want many. Earlier cycle was there, scooter, bike, then a different type of bike, one car, a different type of car, small car, bigger car, then what? Imported car. One pant, 2 pants. I remember our elders have lived with 2 or 3 pants for their whole lifetime. 1 or 2 shirts, maybe 3 shirts. And there are people who have washed the shirts the night to wear it the next morning. And today, look at the kind of indulgences we have. Think. And therefore, it is not only in the common life it affects, it also extends when the person wants more and more, even at the later fag end of life. Pashyan api. Everybody know none of them are perfect, none of them are permanent, none of them will serve me all time. Pashyan api na pashyati. In this shloka, Acharya very strongly comes down upon the so-called pseudo-sannyasis. Even after taking up sannyasa, there are people who work for acquiring, possessing. One small site is not enough, 1 acre of land is required. 1 acre of land is not enough, 10 acres of land is required. Hundreds of acres of land. For what? Vistaranam. Of what? My ashram. Think. I am not here to discuss on all the ashrams which has grown big. No. In case that desire for expansion. Now we talk of expansionist China. Politically they want expansion. Materially we want expansion. Think. Anywhere, everywhere, the attitude of acquiring, possessing, expansion is there. Acharya comes down straight. And now In this shloka, Jatilaha, Mundi, Lunchita Keshaha, Kashayambara, Bahukrita Vesha is all for what? Udara Nimittam. Udara Nimittam has got two meanings. The first meaning is for survival. Survival of whom? Survival of somberis in life. The others work and live. Dignified activity. With all dignity in labor. One can survive. Problem comes only to those somberis who are not ready to slog for their living but who want quick money. And thus we have these parasites, even in the spiritual field, who have taken to the garb, who have taken to all such vesha for the sake of survival, for the sake of acquiring. And interestingly, we have to think of one thing. In Punya Bhumi Bharata, everybody respects this cloth. This format of a person is respected highly. And therefore, when a sannyasi comes, they come and fall at his feet and offer their contributions with so much of bhavana. And when they have so much of respect, this person feels, oh, if this cloth can give me so much of respect, people come and fall at my feet, people offer a lot of money, therefore, why struggle? Think. Not only normal common fields we have this problem, it also has penetrated into the spiritual field where the man does not have the vision of the very life which is given to him. The Manushya Janma. For what? To gain the Supreme. When he has no concern for his own goal, then with this Vesha, external insignia, with this Vesha, he only tries to grab, possess, acquire, etc., etc. And it is to those sannyasis this shloka is dedicated. Udara nimittam bahukrita veshaha pashyannapi na pashyati mudha. Now look at the whole thing. From the beginning what I have developed, from the beginning what I have been observing and establishing that value has developed a person into a Mahatma or a parasite. Therefore, a person who is with these wrong values must change, must transform. External transformation has no much value, but the internal transformation alone is targeted in this shloka. We will continue tomorrow. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.